The book it was based on was created by Lauren Bucus, one of the most challenging writers working today. Bucus blends sci-fi with love, thrills, and stunning wordplay. Now Bucus is out with a new book called Bridge. It is one of our new favorites, so we met up with Bucus in London. Why London over South Africa?
Just being more part of the culture and part of the world. South Africa is obviously very far away from everything.
Lauren Bucus moved here after growing up in Johannesburg, where she worked as a journalist before turning to fiction. Shining Girls was her breakthrough, a book Bucus says she wrote full of rage after one of her friend's daughters was killed by an abusive boyfriend. Shining Girls was turned into an Apple TV series.
No one wanted you, not even the nuns. And they'll take anyone.
I was writing about violence against women, and the reality is that most violence against women is perpetrated by the men who say they love us. Using that was a really interesting device to be able to talk about these things in a way that wasn't a lecture, that didn't feel like kind of, banging on the drum.
Bucus's latest novel is called Bridge, which tells the story of Bridget Kittinger, who always lived in the shadow of her mother. You call Bridge a sort of a reverse Persephone story.
It is, yeah.
Why?
So Persephone was the young woman who was taken by the god Hades into the underworld, and her mother Demeter basically went looking for her, and she was the goddess of summer, and everything just died around her when she went looking for her in the underworld. In this instance, Persephone is the one looking for her mother.
Or in this case, her mother's obsession. A mythical object her mother believed allowed escape to other realities.
The multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
Bridget's journey that follows enters a culture where time travel and the multiverse have become an almost unavoidable part of our entertainment experience. The multiverse is very big right now.
It is.
It seems like it's in everything. Did you worry about that everybody else is making movies about it too?
Well, I think the perfect mother-daughter multiverse story is in fact everything everywhere all at once.
Don't make me fight you. I'm really good.
And that came out in the middle of my final edits on the book, and I was like, oh God, why? But I think, I think we're obsessed with this idea of there might be other realities where things worked out differently on a personal level, like maybe there's a relationship that you missed out on in college or an opportunity you didn't seize. I think also we all live in a world where we do live in fractured different realities.
As she worked on Bridge, Bucus also had to work through her own struggles. Between divorcing and moving continents, she found her mind stifled.
I had such terrible anxiety and a lot of depression throughout my entire life. I still managed to write 6 novels, but for me it was paralyzing, where I just couldn't get things done. And it'd be stupid examples. Like I wrote a review for the New York Times, and all I had to do was fill in a simple 1-page form to get paid. And I filled in this form 100 times before, and I could not do it. I would open the page, I would look at it, and I'd have to close it down again. And it wasn't from lack of desire, it's a lack of dopamine, which is kind of a regulatory motivation hormone.
Just recently, Bucus was diagnosed with ADHD.
Since I've been on medication, my life has changed literally overnight. The anxiety is gone. I'm able to do my work. I'm able to focus on things. I've started reading prolifically again, which has been amazing. And I know a lot of people think it's been overdiagnosed, but I honestly think it's just more awareness. It suddenly helps to be able to understand the way my mind works and to understand all the problems that I have and how to work around them. But also the fact that this is kind of also my superpower, and this is why I write the kinds of books that I do. Superpower
is not a bad word for it. Because if you're like us, it's hard not to be amazed by the ambition of Bucus's storytelling.
I write books for the kind of people I think would appreciate them. So they are difficult. I'm not going to treat my audience as if they need to have their hands held. I will throw you in the deep end. You're going to have to try and figure stuff out.
You really throw us in the deep end.
I really do. Terribly sorry.
I just love Lauren's writing, and I love her as a person, and you can see on the page how much she puts into it. And I also like the fact that she's been so open about some of these things that she's struggled with and how she's tried to work through all of it. We sat down after the interview and just talked about other things.
Wow.
For a long time, because she's fascinating.
I think she's really going to open the door for a lot of people who see similar behavior in their own life. Wait a minute, is that what's going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't read her. I'm intrigued, and now I want to read both.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
Yes,
I'll
indeed.
find the time somehow.
You teased us well.